Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at a build for the challenge mode Ice Maiden, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Esimo for this build. Now this fight itself is actually very frustrating. I'm going to discuss the fight at length at the end of the video, but just know this isn't going to be a build that you can just slap on and walk through the fight. Plus, I'm also going to give you a few variations in this build that you can tweak if you're trying for a little bit more damage. I have the build set up more for sustain right now because I think that most people are going to struggle surviving the fight. But once you actually get good at the fight, you can look at making some minor tweaks to increase your damage. But having said all that, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the video. So for this build, guys, we're going to be rocking 3 different weapons. The first weapon we're going to rock is going to be Secret Garden. The second one is the Restored Relic. And the third one is the Last Dagger. What I'm going to say about this fight is this isn't just a fight that you can walk right into. And the main reason I'm saying that is because for this build, I'm personally using 3 different weapons. Now, you could forego the Restored Relic, and there are a couple other things you could do, but for ease of use, this is what we're going to be going with. Now, for the Secret Garden, what you're seeing on the screen is the roll and the cores that I have on this weapon. You can see that you can't see the bottom line. Basically, it is firearm crit hit damage. This gun, you're not going to be doing a lot of damage with. This is purely a stat stick. I'm going to go ahead and show you the mods that I have on this. But again, remember that this gun is primarily a stat stick. You're not really going to be doing a lot of shooting with this particular weapon. So again, I'm not suggesting that you build this weapon out to the build that I show, but if you want to put something on it, this is a pretty general set of mods that you can put on, and this weapon's going to do a decent amount of damage. So when it comes to our Restored Relic, this is the build we ran with. Your Restored Relic is one of those shoot and forget weapons. So this weapon, it doesn't hurt to have a build on, but you're not realistically doing a lot of damage with this weapon. I'll explain how we use this weapon in the build a little bit later on, but I did want to go ahead and show you what we have on it. As you can see, it's not really rolled out that crazy. We have some fire rate, we got some fire attack, and that's basically it, right? It's a pretty simple roll. Down bottom, we've got bonus attack versus Colossus, explosive attack, a little bit of recoil. You can put whatever you want there. And then multi-hit chance. We are going to use this weapon for more of a multi-hit weapon. So when it comes to the mods on it, this is what we're built into. We are building a lot into fire damage. We are putting a little bit of multi-hit on here. And then we do have general rounds to where your general rounds convert to heavy weapon rounds. And the real idea behind that is we are going to pull this weapon out maybe a few times during the fight, just for either very quick ad clearing, or for wave 2 when it comes to the boss, just to help again with some part breakage. We'll explain it in the build, but for now, just know that's why that's on here. We just want to be able to at least have some rounds in this weapon if and when we decide we need to use it. So the last weapon we're going to be looking at is our Last Dagger. Now for our Last Dagger here, this is one of our more general built Last Daggers. We didn't build a Last Dagger specifically for this boss fight. So we're going to have firearm critical hit damage, some firearm attack, a little bit of fire rate, and some extra rounds in the mag. That just comes in nice because it's going to take a second to break those parts. When it comes to the roll, we're doing firearm critical hit damage, firearm attack, bonus damage versus Colossus, and weak point damage. Very standard general roll. When it comes to the mods, this is what we're looking at. We're really building into some weak point damage. We're building into a little bit of base damage, a little bit of critical hit damage, and then we're going to do what we can to try to have a lot of rounds in this magazine with Firing Fiesta. Our goal with this gun is going to be to break as many Ice Maiden parts as we can when and if we have time to do it. Again, I will go through all of that at the end of the video when I explain how to kill the Ice Maiden. So with the reactor, this is what we're looking at. We do have a tech reactor on. We're going to be using a lot of mines in this build, so we want to make sure this reactor is doing as much damage as possible. Make sure you have it matching an optimized condition for your stat stick. So we're going to be putting tac rifle on this. When it comes to the roll down bottom, this is what I want to say. You're going to want to have additional skill damage versus Colossus. That's standard. You're going to want to have that. When it comes to the secondary substat down there, where I have fire skill power boost ratio, you can switch that out with tech skill boost power ratio. If you are looking for more damage, you're actually going to get more damage out of tech down there than you are out of fire. The other thing I'll say is you could put cooldown down there, and that is going to help keep you closer to the max cooldown when it comes to your mines. Now, with the inversion reinforcement, you will actually be overcapped on cooldown, but the inversion reinforcement itself does have a cooldown. So even if it's working, you don't have 100% uptime. If you're looking to like min-max this and maybe make it a little bit better, if you have one that is bonus attack versus Colossus and cooldown, go ahead and give it a try. That should give you more uptime on your mines, and more uptime on your mines means more damage overall. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that and you just have one that has damage down there, with our inversion reinforcement, we are going to hit the cap cooldown some of the time. So don't really worry about it too much. When it comes to your component sets, there are going to be a few different things you can do here if you're looking to increase your damage and you're not as worried about survival. So I'm going to tell you what I suggest you use for your components, and then I'm going to give you some alternatives if you're trying to eke out a little bit more damage and you're not really that worried about survivability. So for your sets, what I will suggest is the 2-piece Plague and the 2-piece Crusader for the set you're wearing. Crusader is going to get you 6% more chill resist, and the Plague set is going to get you 5% more damage when it comes to your tech skills. For the component cores on here, I would roll them all max HP. And then when it comes to the defense slot, I would put one of those as a defense node, and then the other 3 I would put chill resist in. Now, if you're trying to maximize your damage, you can go with a 2-piece Plague and a 2-piece Volcanic. This is going to get you just a little bit more damage, but it is going to sacrifice a little bit of your chill resistance. So if you're trying to push deeper in and trying to get those lower numbers and you've got the fight down, you can consider swapping out the Crusader just to get more damage. But I would say going into this fight, I would try to build into as much survivability as possible, because this fight is very frustrating. When it comes to your inversion reinforcement, this is what I would look at if I was you. I would go with Arche Circulation Tactic, Selective Neurostimulation, and Antibody Explosion. The Arche Circulation Tactic and the Selective Neurostimulation is going to give you a little bit more skill cooldown, and it's going to give you a chance to get your MP back. Now with the Antibody Explosion, what this is going to do is this is going to help with that chill resist and make it easier for you to survive hits when you do get hit by the Ice Maiden. For your Arche tuning, this is the board that I would suggest. One thing I can tell you is in the upper right hand corner, you do see that I have Fire Cohesion on. You do not need to have that on. The important part here is that you are hitting the cooldown node and that you're getting as much skill power out of this board as possible. We're trying to make sure that Esimo can do an insane amount of damage, and in order for him to do that, we need to grab all of the skill power nodes we can. And then use your last 2 points to make sure to hit that purple HP node. So when it comes to your dog, use the Hagios Sheepdog. Out of the 2 dogs, this one is going to give you the most benefit because it does have a chance to heal you, and you would be surprised at how much those little heals come in clutch. So make sure you're rocking the Hagios Sheepdog when you go into this fight. So now we're going to talk about the modules on Esimo. This whole build revolves around you spamming your 1 and your 3 on the Ice Maiden. Now, our 3 is more important than our 1, and I'll explain that again here in just a few minutes. But the important thing that you need to know is you need to be able to spam your 1 and 3. Outside of that, we are going to go ahead and put a lot of survivability into this. One of the mods that you literally cannot go without is going to be the anti-freeze solution. If you do not have this on, you will get frozen in place all the time. So make sure you have this on. We also need the cold antibody, because remember all those cores that we put on our components? Yeah, they don't do anything if we don't have a base chill resist, and that cold antibody is going to go ahead and give it to us. Outside of that, we're going to stack on 2 HP mods, ton of damage, and this is going to be the build that we're using. So I'm just going to walk you through exactly what you should do in the fight, from the moment you start until hopefully the moment that you're successful. When the fight opens, you're going to want to run up to the Ice Maiden, and you're going to want to pull out your Restored Relic. Fire your first clips full of shots directly into her chest. After you're done, swap out to your last dagger. From there, go ahead and shoot both of the pieces on her leg until they break. When that's done, hit tab to ensure that you've broke her chest and both of her leg pieces to give you a good amount of damage. So after this, you are safe to go ahead and start DPSing the boss, because you will have the skill power increase. Now, there are 2 additional points that you can break on this boss, and those are both of her shoulders. Breaking these will give you additional skill power, which means you will do even more damage. So for this, it is up to you. You can beat the boss without breaking the additional parts, or if you think you can break them fast enough, you can go ahead and break them, and that's just going to make all of your attacks from here on out do additional damage. After you get her parts broken, it's time to start trying to put damage in on her. She has a bunch of really annoying attacks, and you need to do your best to avoid them. When it comes to your 1 and your 3 does double the damage that your 1 does. So you are going to want to try to get as many 3s on her as possible. But if you get directly under her feet, she will either teleport away or she'll try to step on you. The big thing to note here is to try to sling yourself in towards her, drop as many 3s as you can, and hopefully they will attach to her. Outside of that, stick her with as many 1s as you can. Now, before you detonate these, there's one thing you want to keep in mind. You do additional damage depending on how many mines you have stuck to her. When I'm fighting, I try to get that number above 8 every time. But if you can get it above even 12, you're going to be doing good. At the end of the day, just don't stick 1 or 2 mines to her and explode. Make sure to try to get as many stuck on her as you can. Just don't wait too long or they'll start to explode on their own. After this, it is just a rinse and repeat. You are going to try to dodge her attacks, stay alive, and then get in close to her to try to stick as many mines to her as possible. When she ends up spawning in ads, you can switch over to your restored relic and pop off 1 or 2 shots just to get rid of them. The main reason you're going to do this is that way when you throw your 3s down, those mines actually stick to the Ice Maiden and don't run over and stick to one of the ads. After you put a little bit of damage on her, she'll put down her face mask. And when that happens, she has the ability to summon the Ice Dome. So what you need to know about the Ice Dome is if you are not near the edge of it and you have to run through the entire Ice Dome, you will die. So pay close attention to the Ice Maiden and her movement. She will put her hand up in the air for 2 different things. 1 is either to shoot ice bolts down from the sky, or 2 is going to be to summon the Ice Dome. If you see her start summoning the Ice Dome, run as fast as you can away from her. You do not want to be caught in the Ice Dome. After you do enough damage to the Ice Maiden, she will go into an instant kill mechanic. She will teleport back to the middle of the map and she will start to power up. When this happens, get to her as fast as you can and just stick a ton of mines to her. You're going to want to use your 1, you're going to want to use your 3, and you're going to want to use the mines you get from rolling to get as many stuck to her as possible. This is actually a pretty substantial DPS check. Once you have enough stuck to her, go ahead and detonate, and if you did enough damage, she will stop the instant kill mechanic. If not, start sticking more mines to her and try to pop her before she kills you. After this happens, she will reset all of her pieces. When that happens, you need to pull out your restored relic and you're essentially starting the fight over. Use the restored relic, shoot her in the chest a little bit, try to get that gem to break, and then after that, start breaking her legs with your last dagger. And then if you're feeling overzealous, go ahead and break her shoulders. If you do all of this right, you should be able to kill the Ice Maiden and no problem. The biggest thing here is to prioritize your life, because being too aggressive will get you killed. And for most people, you're just wanting to clear this one time just to get the rewards. Alright guys, and that's everything you need to know to clear the Ice Maiden on challenge mode. Hopefully this build helps you clear the Ice Maiden. Now, we are at the end of the video, but I do want to kind of give my thoughts on the Ice Maiden fight. Overall, I think it is a very poorly designed fight. The Ice Maiden is constantly running away from you. If you are on the ice at any point in time, you're taking damage. And you're constantly chasing this boss who has an insane amount of HP. One of the biggest issues I've ran into in this fight is the fact that I have literally chased her across the map to where she runs to the edge of the map, and I have no choice but to stand in areas that directly damage me to try to damage her. When that happens, I try to put myself between her and the edge of the map, so she will start walking back across the middle of the map, but that typically doesn't go the way I want and just forces me to take an insane amount of damage. The damage she does and the way she does it is unforgivably punishing. And that's not entirely a bad thing, but when you're trying to get in to do damage and every time you go in you get punished, it makes it really hard to try to counterplay it. Obviously we can beat the fight, so it's not that big of a deal, but it just doesn't make the fight feel fun to be running in to get a little bit of damage and then running out. One of the other things that is really frustrating is when she does her Ice Dome, you effectively lose the ability to do any real damage to her. So if you get unlucky and she propagates multiple Ice Domes, you are effectively just out a DPS window. It's not like if you have enough chill resist, because you built into it, you can stay in there and go toe to toe with her. you are effectively forced out of it, and then you have to just wait for it to disperse. There are a lot of mechanics in this fight that slow the fight down and stop you from being able to deal out damage. And at the end of the day, the fight itself doesn't actually feel hard, because once you actually have a build, the fight itself isn't challenging. I just find that there are a lot of times that I spend my time wasted chasing the boss, waiting to do damage, trying to reposition the boss, instead of actually playing around the attacks, putting out damage when I can, and then dodging incoming damage. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the fight? Do you think it's a good fight? Are you enjoying it? Do you like the changes in mechanics? Are you overall happy with the direction of this fight? And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more First Descendant content, as well as other game coverage in the future. And if you want to get to know me and the community, consider coming over and checking us out live on Twitch. We do stream 4 to 5 days a week, and we would love to get to know you over there. But having said all that, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.